Fox Sports.
We are Black Force. We are Sports Zone.
On this day, it's about country, family, we welcome you to Turner Field in Atlanta, where the rain continues to fall, but we wish you a very happy Independence Day. It's the 4th of July, and the Marlins are in town to play the third final and rubber game of this three-game series here at Turner Field. A big crowd is filing in, and it's only apropos that we begin our telecast tonight with Corey Smith singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That's a great way to kick off the 4th of July here in Atlanta, and we do, frankly, shudder to say it is raining. It is the 4th of July, and we're in Atlanta. We've been down that road before, but hopefully we'll get 9 innings in uninterrupted with the Miami Marlins in town. Third final and rubber game of the series, and two good young pitchers, Joe, go at it tonight. First for the Braves, Julio Teheran, who has been on an amazing roll here at the TED.
He's been on a July 4th type of hot run because he's been pitching great. I don't know that the Braves really expected him to progress this fast as he has since the beginning of the season. His last start against the Arizona Diamondbacks, he completely dominated them last Friday night, struck out 10 with an assortment of pitches, especially that last one there. His changeup was dynamite. Last 3 home starts, he's gone 3-0, and folks, he hasn't given up a run at Turner Field. In his last 3 starts, only 4 walks, 29 strikeouts. That's the Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot for sure, the way he's been pitching.
And his pitching opponent will be Henderson Alvarez, one of many players who came from the Toronto Blue Jays in that big blockbuster deal between the Marlins and Toronto last year. And an exciting part of this Miami future, another young starter under the age of 24 who debuts tonight.
Yeah, he's from Venezuela, and I'm not sure that they were really crazy about him pitching in the World Baseball Classic for Venezuela. He only pitched 3 innings, but he came back to them with a sore shoulder. Tonight's his very first start. He had a lot of ground ball outs last year with Toronto. In fact, he had more double plays turned behind him than any other pitcher in baseball. He's just 23 years old, but has good stuff. We'll get our first look at him tonight.
Hopefully Mother Nature will cooperate as well. Hopefully the Braves will play good baseball here on the 4th of July. A spectacular night awaits us here in Atlanta as we get you set for baseball here at Turner Field. When we come back, the Braves made a roster move today. They added an all-star. And we'll tell you who that all-star is with Tom Hart when we come back right after this.
Independence Day. We close the series with the Fish as the Braves also wrap up this homestand. Tom Hart at the ballpark, and they'll do it with a new player in uniform today. Joey Terdoslavich joins the team from AAA Gwinnett after Jordan Schaefer was placed on the disabled list. He's a switch-hitting outfielder out of Long Beach State that has quickly risen through the Braves minor league system. 6th-round pick out of Long Beach, and this year he was hitting .322, and the switch hitter was red hot over the last 10 games. However, still early in his career, and he's also had to deal with perseverance. He struggled mightily with a hitch in his swing last year, and that perseverance and hard work has paid off for the young man.
You know, I'd never failed before, and to fail like that, I mean, I failed pretty bad. But I knew that my swing wasn't the way it needed to be, and you know, I just knew I needed to work, and I needed to get my hitch out of there. And once I did, I knew that that I would be fine. And once I got it out of there this offseason, I mean, I worked on it every day. I knew that that I was ready to have a good year.
And that hard work paid off. At the time of his promotion, Joey T was leading the International League in extra base hits, also top 5 in batting average and home runs. And oh, by the way, he made a great quick impression on Freddie Gonzalez this spring. He hit .395 in big league camp with the Braves, set to make his major league debut sometime soon, his first call-up. Well, the rain continues to fall here, but the grounds crew has done a magnificent job. The tarp is off the field. The folks are ready for some fireworks, baseball-wise or otherwise. Chip and Joe have the call when we return.
Family and friends. July 4th, our nation's Independence Day. A time to reflect and be thankful for what we have, while also celebrating our freedom. It's also a time to enjoy and to celebrate a little barbecue, maybe some games, and of course, baseball and fireworks. So enjoy the 4th with us as the Braves celebrate Independence Day against the Marlins. So let's hope it's a happy 4th and an uninterrupted 4th of July ball game between the Braves and the Fighting Fish from Miami FLA tonight.
Let's hope the rain stays away, even though it's raining as we speak.
Here's a look at the Marlins starting 9, brought to you by Toyota. Justin Rucciano had a big at-bat last night, and Lucas is at third base. Stanton, Morrison, and Ozuna in the middle of the order. Derek Dietrich out of Georgia Tech, the second baseman. Hechavarria, the shortstop. Jeff Mathis, the catcher. And we'll get our first look at Henderson Alvarez tonight. Julio Teheran, 22 years old, 6'2", a slender 175, makes his 16th start. 6-4 on the year, just 17 walks against 81 strikeouts. He's allowed 11 homers. He's never faced the Florida Marlins, Miami Marlins, before.
And his first pitch of the night is high and tight. 72 degrees with 100% humidity. Atlanta is waterlogged. It was remarkable. We got the game in last night, and hopefully this will be the worst of the weather the rest of this evening. Both ball clubs leave after the game. The Marlins go to St. Louis. We'll make our way to Philadelphia for a date with the Phillies. And 3 straight off the plate for Ruggiano.
He's 3-0 on the first batter, but he's 5th in the National League in walks per 9 innings at just 1.6.
Good rally to make it a full count.
Ruggiano wiping the rain off the bill of his helmet. I mean, it's raining enough and hard enough that it's collecting and then beginning to drip off his helmet. If that gives you any indication of how much the moisture is falling right now.
Teheran finishes the comeback and takes care of Ruggiano with a swinging strikeout.
All fastballs, too, and that guy's a good fastball hitter. Here are his 4 keys to pitching success tonight, and it does include the first inning. He has a bit of a problem in the first inning at times, but hopefully a good start again in the first inning, as it was against Arizona last Friday night. Sharpshooter, that has to do with his control and only 17 walks in 95 innings. And at home, unbelievable. No runs allowed here in his last 20 innings pitched.
He's thrown 4 strikes in a row. This one to Ed Lucas, who plays third base tonight for Miami. He got the start at first for Logan Morrison last night. What's it like trying to hit in weather like this?
I actually think it's a little easier to hit than it is to play defense, because you just don't know what you're going to get when the ball's hit to you. If it's going to be wet, if it's going to have a mud clod on it. Naturally, you're going to have to deal with the dripping off the helmet, but you can kind of control that. And if you've got enough stickum on your bat, that shouldn't be a problem. But defensively, that's a different story. Pitching with the mound constantly collecting more and more moisture. As Tom Hart has pointed out, the ground crew has done exceptional work trying to keep this field ready.
And for Teheran, he's working hard and perspiring. Where does he go to dry off his hand?
You're right. If the pants are a little bit wet, that rosin bag certainly gets wet too. So you pick it up to get some rosin to help dry your hand, but the bag's wet. Not easy.
Pretty good pitch.
Boy, I'll say.
Didn't get the call, though. 3-2.
Mike DeMuro, according to Fox Tracks, got it right. He's got a good fastball to start here tonight. 93 on that one. And 3 in a row to Ruggiano, including the last 2 that he swung right through.
Lucas not cooperating. He's putting up a great fight here in the first inning.
That's the kind of hitter he is, and why he is in that 2 spot. A guy who does a good job of putting the ball in play and had a couple of hits last night. A 31-year-old rookie.
Teheran finally gets him. It was tipped and caught. And 2 up, 2 down for Giancarlo Stanton.
Just a good heater. Foul tipped.
Stanton batting .258. He's 1 for 7 in the series. The Braves have struck him out 3 times. And yanked foul quickly. 0-2.
They've also walked him 3 times.
The 0-2 pitch.
You know, every year you don't always get what you want, but the Braves always request July 4th because it's a tradition here in Atlanta to come to the ball game. These fans have really turned out. They're ready for the inclement weather, but they're here ready to cheer on the Braves, watch some fireworks at the end. And I applaud them for that. Saw some of them still filing in.
Count. 21st inning pitches for Teheran. Logan Morrison would be next. He's at first base tonight. Back our way and out of play.
21 pitches, a lot of pitches for the first inning for a guy who has not allowed a base runner. But he's gone to a full count on all 3 guys.
Pitch number 22 coming. And he struck out the side swinging. Teheran continues his good work at home. The Marlins made him work, but they're down an order. Henderson Alvarez goes to work for Miami. Middle of the first inning. Out in Atlanta just saw Julio Teheran strike out the side at the top of the first inning. Now the Braves go to work trying to avenge last night's 6-3 Marlins victory. Andrelton Simmons leads off the Toyota starting lineup, and frankly, Joe, the Braves starting 8 is the same as it's been now 6 consecutive games for Freddie Gonzalez.
They've been playing good baseball together with this alignment, so why break it up? On the mound for the Fish tonight, Henderson Alvarez, his first start with Miami after coming over from Toronto. He is a ground ball guy, as you see by comparison to his fly ball outs, over 2-to-1. 6 feet, 210. 23 years old, out of Venezuela. His 4 keys to success tonight: sinker, changeup, and he is a ground ball guru. We'll show you more about that as we go along, but he's got to have that sinker working.
And a line drive off the glove at third. Lucas couldn't handle cleanly, and Simmons is aboard to start the game. That was scored a hit.
I don't know what's going on, but Major League players catch line drives. I'm happy for Andrelton to get a hit, but this is the big leagues. And you hit a line drive at somebody, usually it's caught. And for that to be a hit, I don't get it. And there have been some really strange calls in this homestand.
Christmas comes early for Simmons. That's his 16th infield hit. We'll see if the scoring has changed on that, as Jason Hayward bats with a man aboard in the first.
And like I said, I'm happy to write down a hit for Andrelton.
Last 28 games have been very productive for Jason Hayward. His average over 300 in that stretch. And he's been racking up a lot of 2- and 3-hit games for the Braves. 14 of them in the last 28 played, as a matter of fact. Outside at ball 2.
You got to figure Alvarez is very excited about making his debut tonight, a long-awaited debut. So for most sinker ballers, that's not a good thing if you're too amped up, because the ball won't move enough. May take a couple of 3 hitters to get that working.
In the air to right, that's going to get down in front of Stanton. He cuts it off in the corner. Hayward on his way to second, and he'll make it there without a play. Second and third, nobody out for Justin Upton.
Just as it was last night, it's important tonight to get on the board early. The Braves did that last night, but they couldn't hold the Fish off. There's another pitch that was up, and Jason Hayward's not missing any mistakes lately. He is swinging the bat great. Good recognition by Andrelton to see that ball was going to be hooking away from Stanton. Second and third, Braves are in a good spot.
Are you going to see aggressive base running in this game, considering how wet the outfield is?
I would guess that, but you got to remember that the infield's a little damp too, so you got to be careful stepping on a wet base.
So Alvarez in immediate trouble for Justin Upton stands in with 2 on and nobody out.
There's only one guy in the lineup that had faced Alvarez before, and that's B.J. Upton. 3 for 12 in his career, so he might have been able to provide a pretty good first-hand account to some of these hitters.
Ground ball, foul at third. And of course, Upton would have seen Alvarez when they played each other in the AL East last year. That's what has the Marlins excited. They've got a young starter with a lot of major league experience pitching in the rough and tumble AL East to join this staff in South Florida. You look at what they've been able to put together, Joe. We haven't seen Fernandez yet. He's the hard-throwing right-hander who's been compared to Matt Harvey of the Mets. We know about Nate Eovaldi. We've seen him pitch some good games against the Braves. Alvarez is 23. And Jacob Turner's only 22, and he's off to a 2-0 start with Miami. So that's 4 starters, 23 or younger, already in rotation for them.
Yeah, it's going to make the second half a whole lot more enjoyable for these guys.
A little low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Alvarez kind of looked off to his right, thinking he had thrown a strike, and he had. He was 9-14 last year with Toronto, a 4.85 ERA. And he throws hard. He's in the low to mid 90s. His shoulder was what landed him on the DL. It's called shoulder inflammation.
That was bounced off the plate and over the Marlins on deck circle into the seats.
Pretty good breaking ball. And a good job by Justin to stay alive.
Now Alvarez has a full count. It's to Justin Upton.
In addition to getting a lot of ground balls last year for Toronto and inducing a lot of double plays, he also gave up a ton of homers, 29 of them in 31 starts.
That's popped up right side. Logan Morrison drifts back. And he's there to make the play. That's out number 1.
Justin upset, had a good battle on his hands up there to get to the full count. And very upset about not getting at least one of those runs in. Now let's see what the Marlins do if they decide to pitch to Freddie.
Do you want Freeman or do you want McCann?
McCann is the grand slam man. But they're not going to elect to set up a force play.
Freddie's been hot. He's got a 7-game hitting streak. 10 hits in that stretch. Mathis got just enough to keep Simmons at third base. 1 ball, no strikes.
Shifted over to get in front of it. He's very fortunate that after it went off the glove, it kind of bit right there on the dirt. Nice play.
Mile-an-hour fastball evens the count.
Freddie was quite late on it. Key hitter in the inning right here. And he has the luxury of pitching around Freddie if he wants. But if he can get to 2 outs and force the Braves to have to get a hit to get a run in, he's done a good job.
High drive, left center field, base hit. 1 run scores. Hayward around third. Throw to the plate by Ozuna, not in time. They pitched to Freeman. He made him pay. It's 2-0.
change up, but it was up enough that Freddie was able to reach it and do something with it. Might have even broken his bat. And actually hit it soft enough to give Hayward a chance to get home.
So the Braves strike first. Here's Brian McCann. He's hit safely in 4 straight.
The one thing about this lineup that you mentioned, Chip, is the 6th straight game. Is that right? That this is the batting order? 6 straight?
Yes.
That you keep coming up in the same situations. You find yourself, whatever spot you are in the order, you're going to run into those same situations over and over again, and you get used to it. You anticipate it. You learn from the at-bat before. Whether you're at the top of the order or the bottom really doesn't matter, but I think that's a good routine that the team has gotten into here with this batting order. And a lot of it, quite frankly, due to injury with Jordan Schaefer's ankle and Gaddis's oblique.
2-1 for Brian. I don't know the exact number, but I do know the Braves have used over 60 different lineups this year for the exact same reason you mentioned. 63, Chan says, is the number for Freddie Gonzalez.
Saw Evan Gaddis there. He was very excited today, as Tom Hart told you earlier, about getting to swing the bat, swing it easy. It's the first time he's been allowed to do that.
That's into right center field. That's going to get down. That's going to roll shy of the track. Freeman's going to get green lighted. Here he comes. Throw to the plate. Late. 3-0. When the sinker isn't sinking, you can see the trouble this man can have.
And again, I think it probably has to do with adrenaline more than anything else. And that was above the belt. Brian not missing any mistakes either. That's his 5th hit in this series, a homer and 2 doubles. And I was a little bit worried because of the slow track that normally that ball goes to the wall. But because of the wet turf out there, it kind of died and gave Ozuna a chance to get the ball in, but the relay was off the mark. So who says Freddie can't score from first on a double? Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. And how about these numbers for the Braves on this homestand? Not too bad, huh?
Numbers like that make it easy for the manager to pencil guys into consistent spots. So 3 runs on 4 Atlanta hits in the opening inning. There's still only 1 out, and Dan Uggla's the batter. Ground ball to Echeverria at short. He handles cleanly. 4 out, number 2. There's a sinker from Alvarez that worked, but a hard hit. Let's see if B.J. Upton can make it an even 4 for the Braves in the first. McCann's the runner at second base. Lucas at third. Will make the long throw across, and that'll retire the side. 23 pitches for Henderson Alvarez, but not nearly as successful as Julio Teheran. 3-0 Atlanta. We go to the second. Opening inning, they scored 3 times. Julio Teheran struck out the side to start his night's work. And as Joe mentioned, Teheran has not given up a run in his last 3 starts at Turner Field, and covering the first inning tonight, that's no runs in his last 21 innings here.
Always nice to have a lead early. Little breathing room. More good clutch hitting too for the Braves. Hitting with runners in scoring position on the homestand. We showed you those averages for a bunch of guys. A lot of that coming with runners on base and in scoring position.
McCann an RBI hit. Freeman drove in 2. Now Logan Morrison starts off the Miami second. Miami has to be thrilled that he's back in the lineup after that awful collision with Chris Medlin at first base 2 nights ago. Last thing Miami wanted to see was Morrison get hurt again after he's been just activated from the disabled list recently with knee problems and back problems. He's done a nice job hitting in 8 of his last 10 Marlins games.
Chris Medlin was so funny after the game. He was asked about that collision. The fact that Morrison had hit a homer off of him earlier. He said, yeah, it was my first chance to get back at him. And then, of course, laughed. He goes, oh, no, I'm just kidding.
He better.
Yeah. Here's that collision. Ball was thrown into the line, which drew Morrison right into Chris. They both went down, but look how far Morrison fell. And he already had a bad back.
He was a little sore yesterday, but said to be good to go tonight. And another full count from Julio Teheran.
It's 4 in a row.
Morrison takes a called third. 4 strikeouts for Teheran, 1 away.
He's on a pace to set a record, by the way. Right at the kneecaps. Love the white hats. What do you think?
Love them too.
Yeah,
it's great.
Stars and stripes on the A.
To Marcell Ozuna. He's been a nice find for the Marlins. Among rookies with more than 200 at bats this year, he's got the highest batting average among first-year players in the National League. He's done a good job with runners in scoring position, quite obviously. And he leads rookies in hits and RBIs too.
Making a comparison last night to his bat waggle to Vladimir Guerrero. That is where a lot of the comparisons stop for me, because he does something that Vlad never did, and that's take the top hand off the bat. You can picture Vladimir in your head. I mean, every swing was a two-handed, huge, long, powerful swing. This whole series for Ozuna, that top hand's been coming off.
He'll stay alive at 2 balls, 2 strikes. The way he waggles the bat too. Gary Sheffield did that too, didn't he?
He did, but he did it through the whole stance. This guy just kind of does it to kind of get something started.
Breaking ball is hammered deep left field, and Ozuna has put the Marlins on the board.
That went a long way.
He hit it through the raindrops, and that's the first run Tehran's allowed at home in the last 3+ starts. A solo shot by Ozuna makes it a 3-1 game.
He'd only played 9 games above A ball when he got called up because of all the injuries, but the old hanging breaking ball. Adios. th home run allowed by Tehran.
The 50th for the Marlins team this year. And Derek Dietrich is the batter. Ball, 1 strike. Dietrich came from the Tampa Bay Rays when Miami sent Yunel Escobar west. Two balls and a strike. It's 2-2. Just a light mist falling at Turner Field right now. Popped up. Who wants this? It'll be Andrelton Simmons on the first base side of the second base bag. And Douglas said, go ahead, take it. 2 outs.
Dad looks at the dugout with his arms up like, hey, get this ball hog over on his own inside of the infield.
Adeiny Echeverria. He likes to swing the bat. He's had a good series. He's picked up 5 hits in the first 2 games. So that bumps his average up to 223.
Yeah, it's a 180-degree turn from what he'd been doing. He'd only been hitting about actually less than 210 over his last 50 or 60 ball games.
Ball, 2 strikes. Echeverria was originally signed by Toronto. He defected from Cuba. They gave him a $10 million major league contract a couple of years ago. He was part of the big deal that sent Reyes and Johnson and Burley north of the border. Popped up, foul ground. Freeman long run near the tarp. We'll have a play. We'll do it again.
Obviously, by dealing Reyes to the Blue Jays, the Marlins needed a shortstop in return. Looks like they got a good one. Defensively, he's very good.
I'll say this for the Marlins, they are making Tehran work tonight.
Yeah, this is a real weird circumstance. 44 pitches and 1 guy's reached base. And we're in the 2nd inning.
And that guy was Ozuna, and he wasn't on base long. He hit a solo homer. Swing and a miss gives Tehran 5 strikeouts in the game. The solo homer, all that Miami settles for in the second inning. A 3-1 score.
In first class, Lorenzo Cummins, Swainsboro, Georgia. I'd like to send a shout out to all my family and friends back home. I want to send a shout out to those beautiful Georgia peaches. Happy 4th of July!
Those guys have it figured out.
Yeah, they're on it.
And
happy 4th of July to you fellas, too.
You bet. "3-1 is your score in Atlanta. Braves coming up for their turn in the second inning. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Two more hits for Chris Johnson, the Braves' number 8 hitter last night. And as you showed earlier, Joe, he's one of those guys that has had a hot hitting homestand.
And he's hit in 4 straight games, 5 for 8 in this series. Last night he didn't get off to such a good start. He struck out his first 2 times up and then picked up singles in each of his last 2 times up, including an RBI. Ricky Nolasco still a Marlin.
And I talked to a scout before tonight's game and got his impressions of what Ricky Nolasco did last night. And he said, outstanding. Command and control. Stuff wasn't great, but he won with it. And victory snapped an 8-game Marlins franchise losing streak to the Braves in this head-to-head series. And the scout also said that he's guessing that Marlins, as you mentioned last night, should be able to dictate their price. You want him? Great. Pay him the rest of the year, and we want a real good prospect in return.
I said last night that it may be his last start for them, but the Marlins don't have to be in a big hurry. Wait till near the end of the month.
Johnson's down on strikes. And that's how the second inning begins for the Braves offense. First for Alvarez. We hope you'll watch the Braves face the Reds Saturday, July 13th, alongside Braves great Javi Lopez in the Legends Suite. Ticket packages get you access to the suite, a $30 added value, and a parking pass. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Visit Braves.com/suites or call 404-614-1493. A laser line foul by Tehran. No balls, 2 strikes. He's out on strikes.
And with 2 out, time for Georgia Power Energy tip number 3. There's only one number 3, and that's Dale Murphy. Georgia Power's commercial energy efficiency program offers rebates to encourage business customers to incorporate high efficiency measures into their facility. Number 3.
Here's Simmons.
I'm giving Chan the evil eye because he wrote Babe Ruth number 3 on his dry erase board.
Bless his heart.
I wonder if Babe, when he finished his career, though, with the Boston Braves, I wonder if he was wearing number 3 for them.
Don't know.
See how good Chan is now.
Yeah. Ground ball towards second. If the question was, did Oscar Mayer wear number 3? We'd know we'd have that before we go to break. 3-1's our score. The Braves off to a good start offensively, as you'll see on our Crown Royal game summary.
Absolutely great first inning for Atlanta. Simmons with a single, ruled a single, line drive to third. Hayward with a double. Then with 1 out, Freddie Freeman comes through with a base knock to left center field that plated the aforementioned Simmons and Hayward. They weren't done as Brian McCann found the gap out in right center. And by the time Ozuna got it in, Freeman had scored 3-0 Atlanta. But wait, did I say Ozuna? What I meant to say was hanging curve. Marcell Ozuna. See you sooner, Ozuna, than later.
I was going to ask, does Ozuna translate to can hit a hanging curveball?
Yes.
Because he sure hit it a long way. But Tehran still leads. He has struck out 5 men tonight. He's thrown a lot of pitches, though. Let's see if he can have an easy inning with the 8 and 9 hitters starting things off. One ball, no strikes to Jeff Mathis, the catcher, who's on a very impressive RBI run, too. Mathis has knocked in 16 men this season. We're facing him at a real hot time.
Yeah, if he drives in 2 runs with this at bat, it will be under investigation. But 5 straight games with at least 2 RBIs, including last night. Pretty much taken over the catching role. Good receiver, and if you were with us last night, he leads the majors in throwing out base stealers.
He tried a bunt, and he'll head back to the box with a 2-2 count. You saw the name Hanley Ramirez on that list for the Marlins. Hanley Ramirez is some kind of hot for the Dodgers right now.
Is he?
4 more hits in yesterday's game. He's got a 14-game hitting streak for the Dodgers, who play a little bit later tonight. And look at where the Dodgers are now in the standings. Only 3 games under 500 and 3 games behind Arizona, who won today.
I'm not sure there's a team in that division capable of running off and leaving everybody else. But just when all those other teams had a chance to bury the Dodgers, they didn't. And now they're back in it.
Line drive by Mathis. He leads off the third with a single. And that's the second Marlins hit. Well, if winning your division means you have to win inside the division, look at the records against the West. Arizona's a game under. Colorado 5 over. Dodgers 7 under. San Diego 3 under. The Giants 6 over their division rivals within the West. Some work to be done for LA as far as their Western Division foes. They play in Colorado tonight. Chris Capuano will pitch. And Alvarez tries to bunt and did so unsuccessfully. Strike one. The bunt was off that time. It's 0-2. Alvarez down on strikes. That's 6 for Tehran.
Oh, he's shooting some fireworks off here after a strikeout, and you watch the smoke trail blow across over the top of the stadium, and it's moving at a pretty good clip toward the left field corner. So a little breeze up high.
Even with the wet weather last night, they were able to put on a fireworks show after the game. How does that work?
Well, you light this fuse.
Oh, well,
and here it goes up high.
Let's play it first. Can you do that again? That's
what it sounds like when it comes out of those tubes.
Luciano bloops one into shallow right field. And like a PGA golfer, had a little backup action on that 60-degree wedge shot into right field. 2 on, 1 out, runners at the corners.
I think it was largely because he didn't decelerate on that swing, Chip. Good grief. Big time jammed, just fought it off. Like a 2-seamer that he was trying to maybe run in on him, and he was successful, but he was strong enough to fight it off. So now Julio needs a ground ball.
And Lucas is the hitter. He struck out in the Marlins first. Tie strike. It's 0-1. There's the ground ball. There's only one play though, and Uggla makes it to first. Lucas drives home his 7th run of the season. Mathis scores, and it's suddenly a 1-run game. 3-2 your score now.
Another ball that was not hit very well, but it gets the job done of getting the run in and gets another guy into scoring position. That was a good pitch. And just right off the end of the bat. Nice play by Ugla just to get one out.
Stanton with 2 outs. 1 ball, no strikes. Sinking at the knees. Good pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Good lead for Ruggiano at second. Ugla tries to keep him close. And back to the radio booth foul.
Couldn't get in that booth.
Nope.
Not a chance. Those guys are safe and sound over there. Got their windows closed. Maybe their weather report's different than ours. Or maybe they were just anticipating a foul ball coming their way.
Now our booth windows are open.
Yeah, but look to the left. I mean, the riders, most of them are behind the glass too. Pan a little more to the right.
Other
Pan
way.
a little more right. Yeah. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. See,
There we
they're all
go.
there. Those. See, they're all protected back there.
I can't believe Carol Rogers is behind the glass.
And she's got good hands.
Toward third, Chris Johnson fields and fires, and that will retire the side. Miami creeps a run closer. They get a ground out from Ed Lucas. That brings home Jeff Mathis. It's now a 3-2 game. Great look inside for Independence Day at Turner Field tonight.
Good work.
Did she get all 50 stars?
Quite an artist. Yes.
Plenty of stars on the diamond tonight. And the stars for the Marlins of late, Joe, have been on their pitching staff.
Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard. Check it out. Fewest home runs allowed over the last 16 games in the major leagues. The ERA in the top 5. That's providing them an opportunity to win more games. Top 3 actually in ERA.
So now the Braves partner have to go to work against Alvarez. Looked shaky in the first inning, but his last 2 outs of the opening frame were ground balls, 2 strikeouts and a ground out in the second inning. For the Miami righty, he's quickly ahead of Hayward. No balls, 2 strikes. In the air to left. Ruggiano makes the catch. That's the first out.
And again, Jason using the whole field. Double down the right field line, or into the right field corner, I should say, and then a shot toward left.
Justin was mad at himself. He popped up with runners at second and third. Nobody out in the first inning, but Freeman and McCann picked him up with RBI hits. And a quick strike. Knocked Mathis's mask off. 0-2. Echeverria charges it short. Makes a nice play on the run. 2 outs. Baseball fans, relive an emotional night for Braves hero Chipper Jones. On Tuesday, Sports South brings you an exclusive look at the ceremony honoring his historic career as his number 10 was officially retired. That's Tuesday at 11 on Sports South. Ball 1, Freddie Freeman.
As you watch him make his pitches now from center field, you'll see a little better sinking action. He's getting the ball down, better results. Braves made him pay for some mistakes in the first inning.
Green light. Freeman fouled it away. 3-1 the count now. 3 runs, 4 hits for the Braves. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Marlins. Shot taken by Mathis, and now the count's full.
Getting dinged up a little bit. This is the most recent one.
That sounded suspiciously like the fireworks song.
Did it?
Maybe it had a little more of a metallic-y sound to it.
The first one, the tube thing, was more of a whoop, which is actually the sound you're going to make when I put you in that tube if you keep asking that question.
Better be a very big tube. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Freddie shoots one in the air to center, but Ozuna is going to catch it. And
And that will retire the side. Alvarez is settling in for the Marlins, but he still trails by a run. 3-2 after 3.
My name is Sergeant Dylan Stewart from Rome, Georgia.
Specialist Brandon Hale, Hinesville, Georgia. Specialist Larry Buser from Augusta, Georgia.
And I'm Sergeant Michael Gordon from Fitzgerald, Georgia.
The 878th Engineer Battalion from Kandahar, Afghanistan would like to say, Go Braves!
Nice work, fellas. Hope you're having a safe and happy Independence Day. And that shout-out goes, of course, to all the members of our wonderful United States military and armed forces.
As they put some of the drying agent on the mound and home plate, I got some 4th of July baseball history for you, okay? Did you know that Lou Gehrig's famous speech, the luckiest man in the world speech, was actually given on July 4th? That was in 1939 between games of a doubleheader at Yankee Stadium. They were playing the Washington Senators. 44 years after that, Dave Righetti threw a no-hitter at Yankee Stadium. That was the first no-hitter for New York since Don Larson's famous no-hitter in the World Series. There was a game at Coors Field just a few years ago that went crazy. The Marlins were involved. The final score 18-17. Colorado, as they came back from a 9-run deficit. The teams combined for 43 hits, 21 of them for extra bases, and 8 of them homers.
But on a rainy night here in Atlanta, the 4th of July game that everybody in baseball remembers.
They figure that Camp is the best hitter of the 3 left.
It'll be an 0-2 pitch. And he is at the deep left. Heat goes back. It is gone. Holy cow. Oh, my goodness. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Rick Camp. Rick Camp. I don't believe it. Remember what I just said. If he hits a home run, that certifies this game as the wackiest, wildest, most improbable game in history.
But unfortunately, John Sterling, who was working alongside the late great Ernie Johnson Sr., didn't get to say the Braves win because Ron Darling and the Mets sealed the deal in 19 innings, winning the game 16-13, and the fireworks did go off just before 4 o'clock in the morning, right across the street at the old ballpark.
Nice 6-hour game.
Keith Hernandez hit for the cycle in 10 at-bats. And
Ron Darling had one of the best quotes of all. His memory of not only finishing the game for the Mets, but what took place in the locker room afterward at the old ballpark. He said he walked in after the game, and the floor was littered with Budweiser cans and Chick-fil-A wrappers.
How about getting 2 in the 13th and then the Braves doing that to him again?
Logan Morrison down the right field line on the first pitch, and that's a fair ball. Hayward got to it quickly, but not fast enough to keep Morrison from reaching second with a double. What a weird game for Tehran.
Striking out a ton of guys. But he's also made some mistakes tonight, and it's cost him. A hanging curveball, and that was a hanging changeup, it looked like. It just stayed up and in. Fortunate that it stayed in the ballpark.
They made a mistake to Ozuna that didn't stay in the ballpark. A long solo homer was the first Miami run of the night. Up and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Back up the middle and past Ugla into center field. Morrison will be waved home, and Ozuna has tied the game at 3.
Trying to get the runner over. He got him in, and it was on another breaking ball. Fortunately, he was trying to get the ball to the right side to get the runner over. Otherwise, he might have launched another hanging breaking ball.
So back-to-back hits in the 4th for Miami, and they have new life. It's a 3-3 score. Here's Dietrich.
Braves led last night 2-0 going to the 5th inning. And the Marlins got 3 to take the lead, and they did not relinquish it.
Dietrich popped out to short. It was in the 2nd inning. He showed bunt and took outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
This guy's solid. He's listed 6 feet, 200 pounds. Had some good home run years in the minor leagues. At Bowling Green in the Rays organization in A ball. He hit 22 homers one year. Last year in AA and AAA, he hit 14 combined. And already 7 here at this club.
Another chance for Simmons on a pop up to short. And Dietrich is 0 for 2, 1 away in the 4th.
That would have been funny to see Ugla run over there and call him off.
Turnabout would be fair play. You're right. Here's Echeverria. He struck out to end the 2nd inning. Washington won earlier today. They beat Milwaukee 8-5. And Ozuna, there's that wet base you're talking about.
He's lucky he didn't hurt his shoulder after trying to catch his fall.
Davey Johnson's been at his wits' end for the Nationals, trying to spark their offense, shuffled his lineup, changed some things around. Wilson Ramos had a big day back from injury.
I've always said he's really good when they start a game at like 10:30 in the morning. I don't know what time they started today, but it was early.
Well, I think they do that because of the fireworks on the mall in Washington, D.C. They have to get the crowds in and out at Nationals Park. But Drew Storen, as you see, picked up the win. Down the right field line by Echeverria. That's slicing foul. 1-2.
If Storen got the win, that would mean the Nationals gave up an early lead. I think they were leading 4-2 at one point. So Gorzolani got the loss. Sounds like the Nats had to come from behind.
So they're back over 500 at the moment, 6.5 behind the Braves in the division.
Chen says they got 3 in the 7th.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Actually, Milwaukee had just tied it up with 3 in the 7th, make it 5-5, and then Washington 3 in the bottom of the 7th.
And Teheran has had as many 3-2 counts tonight as he's had maybe in the last 3 weeks. That has really done damage to his pitch count. Runner goes, swing and a miss. McCann's throw is not going to be in time. Ozuna steals second. That's his 5th swipe of the year. Echeverria strikes out for out number 2. Hop on the bus, Braves fans. Travel to Turner Field in style. The Fox Sports South Fan Express is a custom luxury coach specially created for group travel to and from Turner Field. If your group wants the VIP travel treatment, log on to foxsportsouth.com for more information. Seven strikeouts for Teheran. Mathis will be walked intentionally. Braves will go after Anderson Alvarez. Arizona won today. They beat the Mets 5-4. New York had a couple of runs late and in extra innings before falling to the Diamondbacks.
A note on that series, it was a 4-game series. It was the longest in terms of hours and minutes since 1989. There were 16 hours and 40 minutes of baseball in those 4 games. And that does not include 2 hours and 40 minutes of total rain delays. So enjoy Citi Field.
Swing and a miss by Alvarez. Will try to give himself the lead with a hit. In the air, right center field. Hayward on the run is going to get there. Alvarez put a charge into the ball, but Jason tracked it down, and that retires the side. Marlins tie the game up. Bottom of the 4th, 3-3 game.
3. Tom Hart at Turner Field. We found a dry spot, and I found a great guy that you guys need to know. This is Chief Warrant Officer Paul Finn. And the unique thing about Paul is that this is your first 4th of July stateside in 8 years. What's it like being back on American soil for this holiday?
It's absolutely wonderful. We've just gotten back from an 8-year stint in Europe, a couple of combat deployments. We got the family together finally, and we've made it back to where I grew up. I grew up here in Georgia, in Stone Mountain, and it's just good being home and enjoying the festivities and the whole 4th of July holiday.
And the decision to come to a Braves game on your first Independence Day back here in the States?
It was. We talked it over. We were going to come last week, and we said, you know what's better than coming to the American sport and watching baseball and fireworks. So we decided to come to the Braves game.
Your son Zach is with us, your wife Naomi. They were over there for just about that entire time too. How do you celebrate Independence Day overseas?
Well, the U.S. military does a pretty good job of it. They always have a big celebration on base, and they have usually carnivals and fests, and they invite the locals, in our case the Germans, on to also celebrate the Independence Day, to have a big community event and let the Germans see what we do and let the Americans celebrate with them too.
Well, it's great spending some time with you. Great to see you at the ballpark. Welcome home, and thanks for everything.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and happy 4th of July to everybody out there.
And back to you, Chip.
Thank you, Tom, and welcome home. Brian McCann to straightaway center. Ozuna backpedaling, still backpedaling, and on the warning track gets there for out number 1. Alvarez has now retired 9 straight Braves hitters.
Ball's carrying again tonight, though. Ozuna may have wanted to rethink that backpedaling right near the end of that as he got onto the warning track.
Marlins have a couple of young outfielders in their system at Double-A, named Christian Yelich and Jake Marisnick. Both of them are very high prospects. Both of them are center fielders. Yelich was a first-round pick in 2010. Marisnick was a third-round pick in 2009, but he broke his hand in spring training. Echeverria at short, and he gets Ugla. That's the second out. 10 straight retired by the Marlins righty.
When Ozuna was called up, it was because Stanton went on the DL. Ruggiano was playing center, and Ozuna was in right. When Stanton came back, they moved Ozuna to center because Ruggiano can play any of the 3 outfield spots, and Ozuna has actually proven to be more versatile and maybe a little better outfielder in center.
B.J. Upton bats. He bounced out to third. And it is somewhat odd to look at this Marlins club, Joe, because in years past we've seen them have infielders playing a couple of outfield spots, really out of position, out of necessity. We've seen Logan Morrison in left. We've seen Chris Coghlan play center field. Now they've got 3 true outfielders in position for this ball club.
How about Chris Coghlan? Rookie of the year just about 3 years ago, and not even on their roster anymore.
Echeverria at short. Ground ball starting to pile up for Alvarez. His offense has gotten him back even in the game, and the top of their order goes to work in the 5th. AT Uverse, by Delta Airlines, and by Ford. 3-3 game. We head to the 5th inning tonight in Atlanta. Didn't know it was Halloween. Thought it was the 4th of July. Let's take a look at our AT&T Uverse trivia question tonight. Name the only player in Marlins franchise history to lead the National League in hits for a season.
One guy went in front of me. Derek Lee.
Really?
That's who led the league in hitting, didn't he? Or was that with the Cubs?
Oh, man.
Boy, I've stumped both of you.
Yeah. Lee had the big year for the Marlins against the Cubs. That was in 2003. That was the.
He might have led the league with the Cubs.
Bartman series. I was going to say Juan Pierre.
Be a good call, too.
I'm still bitter about last night's question.
I'm trying to move on. You just have to get over it.
No balls, 2 strikes to Ruggiano, who's done a nice job as the leadoff man in this series. And he pulls one toward Chris at third. I don't know, 2 count. Johnson makes the play. 1 away.
Time for the Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile. Julio Teheran has been outstanding since May 20th. He is 3rd in the National League in ERA behind Mike Leake and Adam Wainwright. Be honest with you, I didn't know Mike Leake was pitching that well for Cincinnati. But remember when we were in there, he was pretty much pitching for his life, right? To stay in the rotation, so he certainly grabbed that opportunity.
Yeah, Leake at that point was 2-1, an ERA over 4. Went 7 innings of 4-run baseball, struck out 6.
Cincinnati got rained out at home today against the Giants, which is unfortunate for both clubs because they only see each other in that ballpark once. That'll have to be made up somewhere along the way on an off day.
Frankly, the Giants needed a rain out. They've not been playing well.
And they have to go home and play the Dodgers tomorrow.
San Francisco's 15-30 on the road. 24-15 at home. They've tumbled to last place out west. And look at that swing by Lucas.
Come on. Really? Even Freddie Freeman, he didn't put his hands on his hips, but he really wanted to. Okay, as long as you smiled. Look at this effort. This is inside out. And look at the barrel of the bat, the track it took. How does that happen? Good grief.
He must have been a good badminton player. Kind of,
I wouldn't know.
Lob the shuttlecock into right field.
I see. Well, that ball had a chance of going 2 directions. One where it went, or the other fouling or coming off the other side of the bat and hitting him right in the stomach.
No balls and a strike for Stanton. Giancarlo did that a time or 2 last night. He swung so hard he had to go to a knee with the recoil.
Well, he got a slider up and hanging, and he swung too hard. They just need him to stay in the lineup.
No balls, 2 strikes.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Thinking about the trivia question, didn't Hanley Ramirez win a batting title?
You're right. I think he did. Maybe it's in keeping with the fact that he's very hot right now, as you mentioned.
So that might be my guess when we get back to trivia. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Edgar Renteria.
They've had so many good players. Just haven't been able to keep them around. That one back to the screen on a ricochet. Still 2-2. It has not been an easy night for Tehran.
No, it hasn't. And boy, he was working up a lather in the very first inning. Struck out the side, but had to throw about 22 pitches, I think, in the first inning.
And he'll have a tough assignment because the way the rotation sets up, we go to Philadelphia and Miami. He'll have to face these guys in back-to-back starts. Next time on the road, though. Lucas runs, Stanton pops it up. Shallow right. Hayward comes galloping in. Ugla was the man covering the second base bag. And Hayward, with a nice running catch, takes care of Stanton for out number 2.
It's a bad time of night. Even though we've had this rain, it's still a tough sky. And Jason, I'm not sure he ever took his eyes off the baseball, even to see where Dan was, to make sure he could track it all the way. Jason called him off right away. Had to go a long way to get it.
Logan Morrison is the first baseman. He's doubled and scored. His run proved to be the tying run. While Logan has had his troubles hitting the baseball at Turner Field, this will always be a very special place for him. His first big league homer came here against Tommy Hanson a couple of years ago. He's another guy that, for whatever reason, hasn't been able to stay healthy.
Another big horse for these guys, too. 6'3", 250. Stop.
Braves bullpen is working. Julio Tehran's spot is due second when Atlanta hits in the 5th inning. And it's Anthony Guevara beginning to loosen up. Three and one.
It's already gone to 6 full counts.
Morrison walks, and he'll have to face Ozuna with 2 on, 2 out. And Ozuna's 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs.
A lot going on right here for the Braves, as Roger McDowell's going to go out and give him a breather. But for Tehran, if he wants to get the decision, get a good decision by getting the win, he needs to get out of this inning. Even if they pinch hit for him, if the Braves score a run in the bottom half, he'd still get the W. That's probably on his mind here, but nothing has been easy tonight. No quick innings. And again, the only 1, 2, 3 inning he had was the first, and still had to throw 22 pitches.
All 3 hitters face 3-2 counts. He struck out the side in the first inning.
Right.
Though. So just again, very odd kind of night.
This guy has accounted for 2 of their runs. The first came on this hanging breaking ball that he hit almost to the terrace level in left field. He's also had an RBI single.
So 29 RBIs for Ozuna. And 2 more Marlins aboard with 2 outs. Fly ball center. Does BJ see it? He's looking for help. Hayward joins him and bails him out. BJ Upton was yelling for help, and Hayward hustled over and made the catch. And the Marlins strand a pair of runners in the 5th inning. Joe, you called it. Tough night, tough time of night to be an Atlanta outfielder. We're still tied.
Part by the Georgia Lottery, by the Home Depot, and by Toyota.
3-3 game. Braves are up for their half of the 5th inning. We hope you'll join us for the Braves VIP road trip to see the Braves take on the Cardinals in St. Louis in late August, August 23rd, 24th, and 25th. This amazing trip includes hotel accommodations, lower-level game tickets, a meet and greet with Craig Kimbrell and Evan Gattis, and a whole lot more. Pick up this package today at Braves.com/VIP. Eight, 9-1 for Atlanta in the 5th against Henderson Alvarez, who's retired 11 in a row.
They got to figure out how to get a guy on base. After that big first inning, nothing. Looking at his numbers, his last 2 rehab starts, 14 1/3 innings, no walks, 13 strikeouts, and did not allow a run in either one of those 2 starts. So I would say he, after giving up a run in the first, 3 runs in the first, he kind of settled back into what he had been doing in his rehab outings.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Tyler Pasternicki will bat for Tehran. He's on deck. Right now, when you play Miami, you throw out their 31-52 mark. The big number is they're 11-5 in their last 16 games, and their ERA under 3 during that stretch. Full count. There's a base runner, Chris Johnson.
Like a 3-2 off-speed pitch. Maybe had too much of the plate. Breaking ball. And Chris got just enough of it to get the inning started in a good way.
So it will be Pasternicki. Tyler 4 for 16 with the big club. Has yet to record a pinch hit. He's 0 for 6. At short, Echeverria to second for 1, and a ball dropped by Logan Morrison. That should have been a double play, but Lomo couldn't handle the relay throw, and Pasternicki's aboard with 1 out.
He just waffled that. The old saying is you can't assume a double play, but on that particular replay, it would show you that he should have caught the ball.
And at first glance, I don't even know if his foot was on the base. When he was stretching for that ball, his foot looked like it was a good inch or 2 off the bag. So here's Simmons, and he takes a strike.
Been talking all night about this guy and his ground balls are Home Depot tools from the dugout. How about this with Toronto last year? 30 double plays induced by this guy, and that was the most in the majors.
Nice stop by Mathis. Even count for Simmons. Morrow sits down. David Carpenter begins to throw. It appears he'll be next for Freddie Gonzalez in the 6th.
By the way, on the injury front for the Braves, Brendan Beachy threw a bullpen yesterday and threw aggressively, and the results were good. I mean, what he did was good. They were just waiting to see how he bounced back today, and they were hoping that he would be able to throw another bullpen tomorrow as he begins to rework his rehab. Luis Ayala pitched an inning last night for Gwinnett, a good inning, so he's close. The same cannot be said for Christian Martinez. He's not ready yet.
Earlier, Evan Gattis, 20-25 light swings today. Is that what you'd heard?
Something like that, yeah. Real easy.
So at least some baseball activities for Evan, but still a ways away from returning. Two balls and a strike. Runner goes, and a line drive to short, and That's going to be a double play. That's not a ground ball double play, but just as effective. Inning over for Atlanta. Tough break for Simmons. 3-3 is your score after 5.
I knew I was going to do it again. This is our SunTrust shining moment. I was going to apologize to his dad, Joe, for mangling the family name, Joey Terdoslavich. I think his son owes him an apology, too, for the phone call he gave him last night and the prank he pulled on him.
I started off telling him that, that I had hurt myself and I wasn't going to be able to play in the All-Star game, the Futures game, because he was going to come up for it. And, he was a little upset. He's, you're not going to be able to play in the All-Star game? He's like, what'd you do? And I said, I'm not going to be able to play in the All-Star game. It's because I'm going to the big leagues. And, his reaction was pretty cool. I mean, he's like, you better not be messing with me. And I said, no, Dad, I'm not messing with you. And he was ecstatic. It was really cool to share that with him. I mean, it's been my dream, his dream, our whole lives, and just to hear his voice and how happy he was, that was awesome.
His father put a bat in his hands when he was just 9 months old, taught him how to switch hit. It paid off this season for sure. At the time of his promotion, he led the International League in hits and extra base hits, top 5 in home runs and batting average. And that switch hitting was a key, Freddie Gonzalez said, when considering who to bring up to have him off the bench in late game situations.
That's a huge advantage, I think, for Joey, Tom, because of that. And not just because he's a switch hitter, but 318, 18 homers, 58 RBIs. He also had 24 doubles. Really swinging it after a tough year for him last year when he was trying to learn a new position at AAA. And when he got back into the outfield later last summer, things began to click again.
That must be the greatest phone call a kid could ever make to a parent. In the baseball world, Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, I'm going to the show.
Yeah. Good for him.
So here in the 6th inning for Miami, the Braves have made an AT call to the bullpen. It's David Carpenter in relief of Julio Teheran. Five innings of 3-run ball for Julio tonight. And Dietrich scorches one deep right center field. Hayward will turn and watch that one hit off the fence. And Dietrich in at second with a stand-up double.
He had a double in game 1. A leadoff double and scored a run. Fastball outer third, and boy, this guy's got some pop in his bat. That ball jumped. Pitched last night, gave up a hit, struck out 2.
Well, Dietrich debuted on May 8th. Mentioned the pop. He's hit 7 homers. That total tied with Evan Gattis for second most by a rookie behind Yasiel Puig of the Dodgers. So you're right, he's been a revelation. Real good hitter.
Since that time he got called up?
Yes. So 2 terrific major league months for Derek Dietrich, and he represents the go-ahead run with Echeverria up there. He struck out twice. He tried to bunt a moment ago and fouled it away. Strike 1.
They had some luck last night with Osuna, who struck out twice, chasing high fastballs. They've had a little luck with Echeverria doing the same thing.
Line drive over second and into center field for a hit. Dietrich was headed back towards second in case Ugla could catch the ball. Dan couldn't. And Echeverria single puts runners at the corners with nobody out.
Boy, the Braves have really been hurt by breaking balls tonight. This one from Carpenter. Echeverria stayed with it. Looking to go the other way again, trying to get the runner over. He did better than that. He got him over and got on himself. That was on a slider.
So here's Mathis again with that 5-game run of 2 or more RBIs. A great RBI chance for him here. First and third, no outs. Strike 1. Back-to-back mid-90s fastballs.
Got hurt with the slider to Echeverria. Let's see what happens here. Ahead in the count. Staying with it.
Why not? 3 pitches takes care of Mathis. Now Alvarez, it appears, will be called back. And the Marlins will go to their bench. See if this is Greg Dobbs. It is.
He had a pinch hit single in game 1 that drove in a run. Flied out last night pinch hitting.
Quick strike. We've seen Dan Jennings already in the series. Looks like he'll be the next pitcher. Greg Dobbs is the active major league leader in pinch hits, doubles, homers, and RBIs. Didn't know that.
Started off with the Phillies, where he kind of got that reputation.
He was a little late there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Greg turned 35 here on July 2nd.
In keeping with our pal Chan here, who celebrates his birthday today. He's not 35 but 45, so we congratulate him. Happy birthday, Chan Ho. Oh, 42.
Delta Airlines is a proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. We'll head to the Delta Charter after the game tonight and make our way to Philly.
First trip of the year there.
Broken bat pop. Simmons at short. And that's the second out. Nice job by Carpenter with first and third, none out. Strikes out Mathis, pops up Dobbs, and now Ruggiano the hitter.
Looked like Anderson was thinking about pulling some shenanigans there. He made a basket catch here. I think he was kind of watching Dobbs. Took a quick peek to see where he was in case he wanted to drop that and let it start a double play. Kind of risky when you got a runner at third, and that's why he went ahead and caught it, I'm sure.
One more hurdle for Carpenter.
A good first pitch fastball hitter.
He got one and fouled it straight back. Strike one. He's thrown him a lot of fastballs in this series.
Yeah, and he's won the battle all too many times.
Justin with 3 hits, including a homer last night. Now a sharply hit ground ball to short, and Carpenter's out of trouble. That started scarily, but he gets out of a jam, leaving Marlins stranded at first and third. Bottom of the 6th inning, Hayward, Upton, and Freddie Freeman are coming up. Still tied 3 apiece.
Me and my children, Cheyenne and Michaela, and the rest of the family and friends, we love you.
Back in Atlanta, our hometown hero, Sergeant First Class Joseph Kapacheski. I hope I pronounced his last name correctly. Let's check in with Tom Hart.
Congratulations on that honor. Thank you so much for your service. What's it like to take the field here in front of so many adoring fans?
Absolutely exhilarating. It was awesome. You know, the crowd here in Georgia is unbelievable, and you know, it's great to see so many people out here in the inclement weather, and the Braves are doing us proud and keeping the game close, and hopefully they're going to pull it out here.
Braves do hometown heroes all the time. You're one of the most decorated soldiers they've ever had. I know that was part of the ovation. How do you celebrate Independence Day?
I celebrate Independence Day with my family and my Ranger buddies, and we drink a cold one for the guys overseas.
Where's home for you?
Upatoy, Georgia, right outside of Fort Benning.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you for your service.
Have a good one, sir.
Right,
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
I just love the ovations that those men and women get. It's just electrifying.
It's a wonderful thing. And when he took the field, and I mean, there was such a long description of his service and what he's done and what he's overcome. For a second, I thought he was going to go out to the mound and start pitching, because it wouldn't have surprised me. What a great story.
That's Dan Jennings on for the 17th time. Dan was the tough luck loser in game 1 of the series. Braves touched him for 3 hits in the 6th inning. All 3 of those runs scored. The Braves broke open the game and won 11-3.
Yeah, he was brought in to pitch to Upton, Freeman, and McCann, and all 3 got hits, including those 2 lefties.
That's too high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Braves scored 3 first inning runs. They've had 2 men on base since. Great catch at short by Echeverria.
Well, when you got to battle a tough lefty and you feel like you've done something to win it, even if you didn't hit the ball hard, and they turn into Zaxby's indescribably good play, that's frustrating. Echeverria timed his leap perfectly. Here's a pitcher that appreciates his work.
Here's Upton. To third. Nice pick. Perfect throw. Lucas with the 360. And that's the second out of the 6th inning. Braves Summer Concert Series presented by Coca-Cola and Delta continues Saturday, July 13th with a free post-game concert from the legendary Steve Miller Band. You can also get a field pass for the show for just $25. Visit Braves.com/concerts for details and tickets right now. Freddie Freeman had the first Braves run scoring hit of the night. He drove in a pair with a first inning single. Popped up. Long run at Echeverria. Look at his range. And he had a fine defensive sixth inning. Atlanta out 1-2-3, and we head to the seventh. We're still tied with the Marlins. 3-3 your score. The rain is all but stopped here in Atlanta as we've completed 6 innings. But as you see, Joe, the Braves scored early, but the Marlins have tallied 3 unanswered runs to tie it.
Boy, the Braves have had 0 offense since the first inning. 1 base hit to show for their work since the first, and that was Chris Johnson. He was wiped out in a double play. Actually wiped out in the forced play, and then a double play occurred after that. So no threat from Atlanta since the first inning. Got to get to the Marlins bullpen.
And Lucas bats first for the Fish in the 7th. Lucas has a hit and an RBI tonight. We're all still amazed that he actually hit the ball that he did last time up. The ultimate inside-out swing, as you described it.
It's kind of natural phenomenon here. If it goes the other way, it hits him more like in the kneecap. This one was a flare that dropped in between the baseline and Freddie Freeman.
Low.
A lot of innings to pick up tonight for the bullpen. After Tehran only went 5, he gave up single runs in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but he had a really labor tonight. Got up near 100 pitches in just 5 innings. Luis Avilan loosening up.
Upstairs to Lucas, full count. Don't want to put him on in front of Stanton if you can avoid it. And he didn't. Lucas swings and misses. Second strikeout for David Carpenter. Back to our AT Universe trivia question. Name the last Marlin and the only Marlin to lead the National League in hits.
I'm going to stick with my first instinct, and that was Derek Lee.
And I'm stuck between Hanley Ramirez and Juan Pierre. I'm going to think about it for a pitch.
Well, that would be somewhere out there in shallow left field.
Left field. I'm going to go with Pierre. Juan Pierre.
Way to go.
221 hits.
Now, why did you go with him instead of Ramirez?
Former Cub. 0-2.
Derek Lee, the next year for the Cubs, led the league in hits.
Really? Is that 0-4 for Derek Lee? Stanton strikes out. Back-to-back punch-outs for Carpenter.
0-5.
0-5.
In fact, Juan Pierre led the league twice in hits, with Florida in 0-4 and with the Cubs in 0-6.
He's had a terrific career as Juan Pierre. Now a mentorship role with this young Marlins club. And David Carpenter, a nice bit of relief work. After giving up 2 hits to start the 6th inning, he's been lights out with 3 strikeouts. He'll give way to Luis Avilan with the bases clear. To you in part by Georgia Power, by Crown Royal, and by AT&T. 3-3, we stay in the 7th inning. 2 outs, bases are empty. Luis Avilan is on to pitch, and he'll be charged with retiring Logan Morrison, the left-hand hitting first baseman for the Marlins. .40 games now for Luis.
And just a 150 opponent's average.
No balls and a strike. 1-2. Bet Logan Morrison's enjoying working with Tino Martinez, the hitting coach for this Marlins organization. Tino, an excellent major league first baseman. The Yankees, of course, Seattle, a little bit with the Cardinals.
Good hitter, too. You know that knowledge is being passed on to another first baseman. And you're right, as a fellow left-handed hitter, that's got to help. Tino had several requests by the Marlins to come out of retirement to be their hitting coach, but he still had some young children. He said he wanted to take care of business at home first, and this year it seemed like a good time.
Low and in, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Last year when Luis Avilan got called up, I don't know that we knew a whole lot about him. He had been in Double-A. He's kind of like skipping a rock across Gwinnett. He didn't really pitch for them. He came straight on to the big leagues from there. Boy, he has been a wonderful addition to the staff, hasn't he?
And considering the role that he has to assume with Ventures out and O'Flaherty out, he's been thrust into very important innings and very important situations. And that importance is only going to grow as the games get more and more meaningful in the second half of the year.
Well, and I think that experience last year certainly prepped him for what he's having to deal with now. Learned a lot from Eric and Johnny. And not a whole lot unlike when Kimbrel was kind of serving an apprenticeship, if you will, when Billy Wagner was here, and learned so much from him.
Morrison works another full count. We've seen a lot of those from both pitching staffs tonight. And Atlanta would rather see that man leading off the 8th. We've had 11 3-2 counts tonight. AJ Ramos getting ready. He might come on in the bottom of the 7th.
Guess how hard he throws.
96, 97.
Yeah, good call. Mid-90s.
And Avilan loses the left-hand hitter. So Morrison walks. Logan aboard on a base on balls for the second time tonight. And now you've got to face Ozuna with a man aboard and a righty-lefty matchup for the Miami offense. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. Ozuna is 2 for 3 tonight. He has 2 of the Marlins RBIs. And might have had more had Jason Hayward not bailed out B.J. Upton. A pop fly that Upton said, I can't see it. Hayward raced over from right to make the catch in right center.
Yeah, it was a great move by Jason. He's played here long enough to know that that time of night anything could happen. So he was there as a backup and much needed on that play.
Base hit to right by Ozuna. Lomo will stop at second. And trouble for Avilan. He's walked a man and given up a hit. Now Dietrich the batter.
This is an interesting move here by Mike Redmond in that he's letting Dietrich hit against the lefty. He's got Polanco on the bench. He's got Donovan Solano on the bench. Solano played last night. But he's going to let the young Georgia Tech second baseman, hit against the lefty.
I would imagine that for Mike, it's still find out mode for these young players. Yes, he's been in the big leagues a couple of months. But he's had 45 at bats against lefties. He's held his own. He's hitting .267 against them. And 4 of his home runs have come against lefties.
Is that right?
The meeting a brief one. And Avilan back to work. One ball, no strikes. Chop to the right side. And Ugla with the flip to first. Retires Dietrich and the Marlins. Miami has left 9 men on base through the first 7 innings. And our score remains tied 3-3. Brian McCann, Dan Ugla, and B.J. Upton are scheduled to hit for the Braves after the 7th inning stretch. But first things first, as always, it's a pleasure for God Bless America and Timothy Miller.
As we celebrate our great nation with the singing of God Bless America, performed by Atlanta opera tenor Timothy Miller.
While the storm clouds gather
far across the sea,
let us swear allegiance to a land that's free.
Let us all be grateful
for a land so fair.
As we raise our voices in a solemn prayer.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America.
Bring you a special story on the rebuilding that continues around Moore, Oklahoma, following the devastating tornado in May, and how youth softball and baseball have given families in that area a slice of normalcy and hope. That and more coming up later on Braves Live. And tonight, as we celebrate independence and the continued pursuit of happiness, you can still help those seeking assistance after natural disasters by going to redcross.org or by calling 800-RED CROSS. And Joe, I know that feature, and that particular graphic strikes very close to home, if you'll pardon the choice of words.
Well, it does strike close to home, and that's Moore and Norman, Oklahoma are kind of joined at the hip, just south of Oklahoma City. So I'm very proud of the way the state rallied around that disaster. Outside the state, unbelievable help from FEMA, but also donations and volunteers coming from just about every state in the union to come in and help. And it's a good feature on some kids as they honor Sydney Angle, who perished in the elementary school during the tornado, and how some of the little leaguers are honoring her. It's a wonderful piece.
Dan Jennings continues on for Miami. Brian McCann leads off for the Braves, and he lines one over second for a leadoff hit.
Wearing Jennings out. Nobody does that. Always good to get that leadoff man on. A little crossfire pitch to Brian, but he stayed right on it. Echeverria was able to leap and take a hit away from Hayward last inning, but Dietrich couldn't reach that one.
So Mike Redmond's on his way out to the mound. He's going to, I should say, he's speaking with the home plate umpire. First, we'll have a double switch. Brian McCann is off the first base bag. Looks like we'll have a pinch runner for him. But first, the changes coming for the Marlins. The Braves have a go-ahead runner aboard with nobody out in the seventh. Our game's still tied 3 apiece. A foot for the Marlins. Placido Polanco has checked into play third base. That means Ed Lucas will move from third over to second. Dietrich is out of the game. And A.J. Ramos will come on and pitch. He will be placed in the number 6 spot on the Miami batting order.
Ramos has been in one game against the Braves down in Florida, worked 2 innings, gave up a run. third among rookie relievers in innings pitched, fifth in strikeouts. And again, throws hard.
And Brian McCann did not get lifted for a pinch runner. He was taking a breather during the pitching change, so he stands at first base after a leadoff single. And Dan Uggla, the former Marlin, in the batter's box. Dan has hit the ball to the shortstop twice tonight. He's 0 for 2.
Fastball, curveball change from Ramos.
In the air to right. That's playable for Stanton. 1 out. Hits and runners have been tough to come by for the Braves after the 3-run first. Atlanta, after that opening inning, has had 3 men to first base. That's it. Chris Johnson had a hit. Tyler Pasternacky reached on a force out, and McCann singled here in the 7th. Strike 1 to BJ.
I have to tune it up a little bit. This guy's bringing it. BJ a little late there.
Late again at 94. 0-2. Over the outside corner, Upton flailed and missed, and he is struck out for the 2nd out of the inning.
That guy has got, he went up the ladder in velocity, 93, 94, 95.
The Marlins are pitching great ball over the last couple weeks. Braves are finding that out tonight. See if Johnson can help them break through. Chris has 9 hits on the homestand. If he can reach, we would see the big league debut of man on deck, Joey Terdoslavich.
Turdo's ready.
One ball, one strike.
Fastball's got a lot of life to it. I've seen Chris ambush some fastballs from spring training to now, but usually it's early in the count when he wants to turn on one.
It's not to be in the 7th. Ramos very impressive with a couple of strikeouts in his inning of relief. To the 8th we go. Still a 3-3 score.
Braves and Marlins are tied at 3. Our Delta Airlines on deck features trips to both Philadelphia and Miami coming up. I understand the sun is shining in both places, and that'll be a nice change of pace. Here's what's up with the Phillies. They just wrapped up a 5-5 road trip. They come home 4 games under 500. Their pitching has been atrocious, but Dominic Brown has 22 home runs, second best in the National League. Then we see some team called the Miami Marlins. Haven't seen them. Oh, we're playing them right now, and we see them again next week. Well, that'll be nice because we haven't seen the Phillies since first series of this season. That's our Delta Airlines on deck. Phillies and Marlins coming up. And don't forget Saturday, Baseball Night in America returns as the Braves and Phillies match up from Citizens Bank Park. Baseball Night in America begins Saturday at 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, starting with the MLB All-Star Game Selection Show. Hope we see many a Brave selected for the All-Star Game at Citi Field this season.
Yeah, and you still have time to vote, Tom, up until 11:59 Eastern Time. So if you folks are watching the game with us, log on to MLB.com. You can vote up to 25 times before midnight. And we'll look forward to seeing who will represent the National League in the 2013 All-Star Game at Citi Field in New York. 8th inning. AT Echeverria leads off against Jordan Walden.
Jordan's last work was Saturday night against Arizona. Snapped a real good string of scoreless innings for him when he gave up that home run to Miguel Montero, but he did wind up with the win.
Seven, 8, and 9 on the lineup card for the Marlins, but remember Polanco checked in. He's the man due third in this inning. And Echeverria is still alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And these Marlins hitters have the same problem that the Braves hitters had, and that's trying to catch up to 95 plus miles an hour.
Right now, though, the Marlins are lamenting 9 men left on base. The Braves have stranded but 2. Another full count, this time to the light-hitting Marlins shortstop. To right and playable for Jason. He's got it. Echeverria put up a fight, but is out number 1. Paid crowd tonight in Atlanta, 35,465. Lower than normal for the 4th of July, but as bad as the weather's been the last couple of days, these folks deserve a big pat on the back for coming down to the Ted to see Braves and Fish fight things out in Game 3.
I am genuinely impressed at how many braved the weather and came out. Big crowd.
Jeff Mathis quickly down 0-2. Well, those that have come have been rewarded with a good ball game and a lovely night. Now the rain stopped. Gentle breeze blowing. Very comfortable evening. Right off of the mask of Brian McCann, and Mathis can relate to that. He got popped earlier tonight.
Mathis got hit so hard that it knocked his mask off. This one gets Brian right in the jaw.
That hit so hard it looked like little fragments of the mask popped off. Can we look at that replay again? Maybe some of the paint came off the back if you look carefully.
Boy, there was stuff flying all over. pickup, Chip. I mean, it was reflecting in the light, but it looked like it came off his mask.
Yep. Look right there. No balls, 2 strikes. Yep, Brian's checking out that headgear. Make sure everything's in working order. He was looking at the left side of the mask. It's the right side that appeared to take the damage.
But he's looking on the side where he got hit, which was his left.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen with a Major League Hockey style catcher's mask. Two and two. Mr. Mathis. Need 4 in this league to walk.
If they've got a kangaroo court for the Marlins, that's going to cost him.
Now he's sure. That's ball 4. Runner at first for Polanco with 1 out. As you know, friends, the Carolinas are a big part of Braves country. The Braves are proud to host Carolina Day, Saturday, July 13th. Residents of both North and South Carolina can visit Braves.com/Carolina and take advantage of ticket discounts of up to 50% off. We hope you'll join us. Log on to Braves.com/Carolinas today.
That double switch perfect for the Marlins now with Polanco up there, an excellent hit and run man.
Strike 1.
Trying to go that way, but by trying to go inside out, he was very late. 2 hits in game 1 and 1 hit last night.
Polanco's only struck out 21 times this year and almost 250 at bats. He's way behind here. And now faces a 1-2 pitch. Mathis a short lead at first. He's the Marlins catcher. Did he go? Yes, he did. Polanco wants the appeal, gets the appeal, but doesn't like that call either. He got rung up by the plate umpire and the first base umpire. Does that count for 2? 2 outs.
Got rung up like this the first game. First at bat of the first game, and he didn't like it. Got some confirmation on that one, though.
So a good fastball hitter against a man with a good fastball with 2 outs and a runner at first. play foul, even count. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We're talking about this guy being a good fastball hitter in this series, and that applies to anybody throwing 95 too for him, because he loves number 1. Good pitch. Tied him up.
Two balls, 2 strikes. 10 o'clock in Atlanta. We're in the top of the 8th inning. 3-3 score. Chip Joe, Tom Hart with you from Turner Field. The Braves wrapping up the homestand. Trying to win a series from the Marlins on the 4th of July. Now the catcher will get a head start. Another 3-2 count. Big gap in left center. Let's hope Ruggiano does not fill it. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Walden takes care of Ruggiano.
What would Harry say here, Chip?
Hey! Let's get some runs.
Cam, pop up earlier tonight. Runners aboard, 2 out. BJ can't find it. Dan Ugla's trying to point it out, try to help him out a little bit. He still can't find it. Jason Hayward knows all about this in the outfield at Turner Field, so he came over just in case, and he was needed to make the catch and save a run. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Well, what a moment. Joey Terdoslavich makes his major league debut, pinch hitting in a tie game.
and went up there hacking. Guy didn't throw a breaking ball last inning, striking out 2 guys, and then showed it to Joey with the first pitch.
He was having a marvelous year at Gwinnett. He and Christian Betancourt were scheduled to play in the Futures game at the All-Star break. Now that he's with the big club, I don't know if that still applies.
If you're in the big leagues, no.
Two balls and a strike. Now 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Terdoslavich strikes out in his big league debut at the plate. One away in the Atlanta 8th.
Well, Ramos broke out his full assortment there. Started him with a breaking ball, then fastballs, and then got him with a changeup. He too a rookie.
We go back to the top of the order and Andrelton Simmons.
Terdoslavich, he goes back to the dugout, and Freddie Gonzalez says, "That's okay, kid. I struck out my only at bat in the big league too." Then he and I will have something in common.
No. Really? Oh. Oh. No balls and a strike. Walter Ralston
only got 1 at bat in the big leagues, and he struck out, so he didn't mean it the way it sounded, but it sure made me uncomfortable.
Oh, oh man. What do you see? 5 pitches, Joey? 4 pitches, 5 pitches?
5.
It had to go by in what seemed like 5 seconds for him.
And he'll replay that at bat all night in his head, every pitch.
One and 2 for Andrelton.
Good cut.
Play. Well, now that the weather's cleared, from our vantage point at the ballpark, off in the distance, beyond the stands, we can see some of the fireworks displays starting to go off. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases empty in the 8th. I don't know if you've ever done this. Several years ago when I was with the Cubs, we flew from Chicago to the West Coast on the 4th of July and played day baseball at Wrigley Field back then. But we saw all the fireworks displays from above going from Chicago.
But that was fun.
To the West Coast. Yeah, it was something. Two-two pitch. Line drive into left by Simmons.
I think that's the first mistake that Ramos has made. Good at bat by Andrelton, and he didn't miss the mistake. Like a breaking ball, just stayed right up and out over the plate.
So you got Hayward and Upton coming up. The Braves tried a hit and run earlier, but that didn't work out before it turned into a line drive double play. Mathis, as you said earlier, is among the best, if not the best, at throwing out base runners in the National League by percentage. So let's see if Freddie Gonzalez has anything in store for us in the 8th inning, tied at 3.
Braves have not had a runner to second base since the first inning. And McCann doubled in the third run, and he was left there. Jason swinging the bat. It's kind of hard to turn him into a singles hitter on a hit and run here, knowing that Andrelton could score from first on a double, and Jason's had his share of those lately, including one in the first inning.
Short lead from first. 1-0 for Hayward. And he didn't get that even count.
This guy's got good stuff. He's getting some good guidance from Mathis behind the plate. The 1-0 pitch, throwing a changeup. That was a good call. What that was. That wasn't his Sunday best fastball. It was something 91 miles an hour, but it sure tied Jason up. Might have been just a two-seamer that he was trying to sink. Go upstairs and see if that works.
It did. That's the second out of the inning, both via strikeouts.
Recorded 5 outs, 4 by strikeout, and that's exactly where Mathis wanted that. Just perfect, just above his hands, right around the letters. Mid-90s, very, very difficult to catch up to.
Justin has yet to get the ball out of the infield. He's 0 for 3.
Marlins are thinking the same way I'm thinking, that now with 2 out, go for it, try it. Especially with Justin up there. I wouldn't expect them to throw him a fastball first pitch. Might get a breaking ball.
Fly ball to center. Caught that off the end of the bat. And Ozuna's there, and that will retire the side. Braves got a 1-out hit from Andrelton Simmons, but can't break through, and we go to the 9th.
Happy 4th of July to my family and friends. Whoa.
That tells you who's on the mound for Atlanta as we've completed 8 here at Turner Field.
Craig Kimbrell last work against Arizona, picking up his 23rd save on the 28th of June, so he's had a few days rest. 1 inning, 1 walk on that particular night. 43 strikeouts in 30 1/3 innings and a 196 average against him. Got the heart of their order up, though. Brian McCann going to a different mask.
Yep. The other one apparently damaged by a foul ball, so McCann with the older style catcher's mask as Ed Lucas digs in against Kimbrell.
Sometimes after a few days off, we've talked about this before, he's got to get his bearings, and not always, but sometimes comes in having a little trouble finding the zone. Bullpen's had a lot of work in this homestand. Only one starting pitcher has gone into the 7th inning, and that was Mahalam, who worked 6 2/3. He'd just as soon not have to work extra innings tonight.
Lucas takes all the way. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
This is Independence Day, July 4th. It's also full count night here at the ballpark.
Ball 4, lead-off walk in the 9th inning. And now you've got to worry about Stanton, Morrison, and Ozuna. Power versus power right here.
Stanton 1 for 3 with a couple of walks, a couple of strikeouts. That's Craig.
One ball, 1 strike. ball, and Stanton took it. 2-2.
Good pitch, 2-1. Stanton sitting on the fastball.
Struck him out.
Back-to-back breaking balls. Beauty. Well located. Down. He was way out on his front foot.
Logan Morrison's reached base 3 times tonight. He's walked twice. He has doubled and he's scored. After our ball game tonight, we have Braves Live presented by AT&T.
This will be the 18th inning in 6 games worked by the bullpen in this homestand.
Date with the Phillies in their ballpark coming up, and no off days until the All-Star break. Morrison looked at that one low. Kimbrel thought it was good enough. 2 balls, no strikes.
So did Brian McCann. Nothing wrong with that.
Lucas walked to start the inning. Stanton struck out a moment ago. Now Morrison in the driver's seat. 2 balls, no strikes. Ozuna's having a heck of a rookie year. He's on deck, and he's had a big night.
Outfield very deep. Lucas does not run that well. He's average.
Another walk. First and second, 1 out. Ozuna with a 3-hit night. He's knocked in 2. We mentioned last evening that last year this kid was playing in the Florida State League, hit 24 homers in that league and didn't hit a single homer in the month of July.
Well, he wasn't doing anything in this series until tonight. He was 0 for 9. But tonight's what mattered. And he homered his first time up and had an RBI single in the 4th and another single in the 7th.
Just swung at ball 1. There's a break for Craig. No balls and a strike. Same result. 0-2.
Again, they got him to chase some pitches up out of the zone in the first game. Greg's a perfect candidate to work him upstairs, much like Ramos did Hayward last inning.
Blew him away. Two outs. And I believe this will be Donovan Solano. It is.
Aired that one out. Good pitch to get it right by him.
So Solano bats for Ramos. He was called up on Tuesday. And Kimbrel gets ahead.
But 1 for 2 with a walk in his career against Kimbrel. He's had a good curveball tonight. That was an 89-mile-an-hour breaking ball.
Hammered off the scoreboard to the right. Solano still alive. Right field, base hit. Here comes Lucas around third. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's going to be close. It's going to be late. Donovan Solano on a 2-strike pitch puts the Marlins in front with a single to right field, and the leadoff walk comes back to haunt Kimbrel.
Perfectly placed, just out of the reach of Freddie Freeman. Breaking ball. And he went down and got it, almost like he was looking for it. Jason charged the ball. He did everything he could and made a good throw to the plate. But with 2 outs, Lucas running on the crack of the bat.
So the Marlins, with 4 unanswered runs, now lead the game 4-3 in the 9th inning. And Kimbrel's got to find a way to get Echeverria out. Don't want to make it a 2-run game.
Silence this crowd, too.
One ball, 1 strike. Mike Dunn was up a moment ago. Had the Marlins not scored, we would have seen him. It looks like it's Steve Cishek now. Echeverria now down to his last strike.
He's got a little venom built up now. 98 on the last 2 pitches.
This will be the 28th pitch of the inning. And it strikes out Echeverria. Kimbrel with 3 strikeouts in the 9th inning, but 2 walks and a 2-out, 2-strike hit by Donovan Solano, the difference so far. Last chance for Atlanta, bottom of the 9th. Now 4-3, Miami leads it. scored consistently and sadly late.
Yeah, the Braves looked like they were off and running in the first inning and had those 3 runs in, and a guy at second base with 1 out couldn't get McCann in. And since the first inning, they have 3 hits, but no one has reached second base since the first inning.
So the Braves hoping for a 9th inning comeback at home before a big crowd on the 4th of July. Then make our way to the airport and to Philadelphia, where we'll begin a weekend series with the Phillies tomorrow night. Here's who we expect to pitch on our Chevron upcoming starters.
Tim Hudson at 4-7 against Cliff Lee. Cliff Lee's been the best pitcher so far this year for the Phillies. Excellent ERA and opponent batting average against. Figure him to be tough. Tim Hudson looking to get back in the win column. Has pitched a lot better than his record would indicate. And has had some luck at Citizens Bank Park in the past, too. Let's hope that works for him tomorrow.
So to the bottom of the 9th we go. It's Steve Cishek, the Miami closer. He's been awfully good. He picked up his 16th save of the year last night.
Strikeout, base hit, comebacker to the 3 hitters he faced last night.
He's got to go right through the middle of the Braves order. Freeman, McCann, and Dan Uggla.
As you can see, he's not your typical side armor, as we talked about last night. He throws hard. Freddie looking for his first hit off of him, but he can run it up there in the 93-94 range. And has a slider.
This is a tough save to try to get. The Thunder in this Braves lineup on the road in a 1-run margin. And he's fallen way behind Freeman. 3 balls and a strike.
We saw what a leadoff walk can do to you with Kimbrel. Cishek has blown a couple of saves, but none in a while. He's 11 for his last 11.
There's the leadoff walk. Well, let's see if Brian McCann can go boom. He's got 2 hits, a double, a single. A home run would win it for Atlanta.
Something in his eye, wants some eye drops. Missed low. Cishek did on the ball 4 pitch to Freddie Freeman. More evidence about making this guy get the ball up.
He can't throw a strike.
And Mathis goes out to help him get a restart. Calm him down.
It worked. 1 ball, 1 strike.
not nearly as sharp as he was last night.
Took a little off, and the count even 2-2.
Yeah, when he's thrown like an off-speed breaking pitch, an off-speed slider, if you will, he's kind of laid it in there. It's like a get-over slider. When he tries to throw the hard backdoor slider, he's missed.
Down the left field line. Long run, Luciano, and he's going to get there for out number 1. So the matchup now a righty-righty affair, but Dan Uggla has hit Cishek very well. In 6 career at-bats, Dan has 3 hits. Strike 1.
He's throwing that over for a strike. Able to get his fastball over. Uggla last time up against Ramos, as hard as that guy was throwing, he went the other way. Whether he was trying to go that way, I don't know, but hit the ball hard to right field. I've seen throw one of those off-speed sliders and hang it. See what Dan could do with it.
Fly ball right field. Stanton on the run. Diving catch. And the throw back to first will be late. And look at Uggla. Stanton robbed him of a double and maybe a tie game.
Well, he does go the other way, but this one started slicing a little bit, Chip, and that helped Mike Stanton track it down. What a play. Big time play by a big time player, Mike Stanton, Giancarlo Stanton, I beg your pardon.
So Uggla with a terrific at bat. Can't believe his luck.
Freddie Freeman got right to the second base bag, and I think he stepped on it, but I don't know that he went around it. And they're going to make an appeal that he stepped on it and didn't re-tag.
That appeal is denied.
I think he might have touched it, but he never took his foot off of it before he turned around and went back to first. He was trying to tiptoe and not hit it. But all he did was hit it and turn around and go back. He didn't go across it.
So B.J. Upton will try to keep the game alive for the Braves. Runner at first after a leadoff walk. McCann flied out. Uggla robbed by Stanton for the second out. And Upton looking for his first hit of the night. That's foul at first. It's 0-2. Won tonight. The Nationals won tonight. The Marlins are beating the Braves with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th in Atlanta. 4-3 the score. And that's your ball game. The Miami Marlins overcame a 3-0 first inning deficit and came back to beat Craig Kimbrell and the Braves by a final score of 4-3. Just the second home series loss for the Braves this season, and the first time they've lost a series to the Marlins since September of 2011. And that great catch by Giancarlo Stanton kept it a one-run affair. Miami's playing its best baseball of the year. They're 12-5 since June 16th, and they take 2 out of 3 in Atlanta tonight.